My goal is to give you timely insights and tips to help you master the game of finance and ultimately help you achieve your financial goals. Hi, my name is Connie from Prosperity Finance. How are you doing during the lockdown? Well, for me, it was bad news to hear the lockdown for Auckland has been extended. On that night when I heard that news, I jumped onto LinkedIn to check some messages. And then I saw someone put a post and says, similar kind of feeling when they hear the lockdown extension. But then he said, actually, working from home is very inconvenient and I can't wait to go back. But you know what? If I think again, I still have a home and I still have my family and I still have a job. I don't have a COVID. So does my family. So I feel much better. Well, it's really resonate with me because it make me think, we probably take for granted a lot of things that we think it's just okay to be healthy and to have family around, to have a job, etc. It's just normal. That's what we expected. But now, because some people are not in the same situation, some are really unfortunate, I think we actually take these things for granted and just make me feel that I need to be more graceful in the future. So that's a good reminder I just like to share with you. Now, there's some good news I would like to share with you very shortly. But before that, I just quickly let you know what we're going to cover today. Now, given most of us in lockdown or still in level 3 lockdown, let's talk about the finance aspect, but more relates to the lockdown. So I'll give you an update about current interest rate markets and let you know what are the support available if your income are affected due to COVID. And some tips help you to manage your mortgage payment, etc. And also give you a heads up what's happening with the bank approvals for new lending. What is the turnaround? What is the policy change, etc. So that you are up to speed. Right. So firstly, let's have a look at the interest rates. Now, the OCR announcement on the 18th of August was the OCR was unchanged. So that was actually a good news for everyone who has a home loan, because what that means is the speed of interest rate increase and the magnitude probably much less than what most economists were predicted. Now, you're probably aware that a month ago, most of the bank have increased their interest rate because they had assumption that the OCR, which is the official cash rates, will definitely increase. Some even predict 0.5% increase. But because of lockdown, the OCR keep unchanged to help the economy recover. So that's really good news. You probably think that, the rates will go back a little bit. That's what I thought as well. But at the moment, it's not. But at least I expect the rates won't keep going up in the short term, at least until we come out of the lockdown. So that's really good. But if you want to know how you should fix your loan, should you break it, or you fix how long you want to fix for, I'm happy to review it for you and give you some personalized advice. But I think in the long run, the rates will still keep going up because the inflation will be very high before the borders reopen. So it's just a matter of time, but probably the increase will be deferred. So give us more time to adjust our situation, adjust our mortgage. Okay, so that's the interest rates update. Now, for business owners, so unfortunately, like us, we are all affected by this COVID lockdown. Most of the business can't operate at this level. So like last year, government have some assistance to help you kind of overcome your cash flow challenges. So the best resource would be the official kind of website. You can Google the government support for COVID. But here, I just give you kind of a quick rundown of what are the types of help available for business owner. So the first one is wages subsidy. So you can apply this if the revenue dropped by 40% or more. So you can qualify for that. The specific criteria and amount of the subsidy, please reference to the official website. The second type of support is called resurgence support payments. So that's for business revenue drop by 30%. So the last one was 40, this is 30%. So if you don't qualify for wages subsidy, you may be able to qualify for these payments. And you can have maximum payments of 21,500. So that's a good support that you may get as well. And then government also have a small business cash flow scheme. So that's for business need more cash flow. Again, you have to suffer at least 30% reduction in revenue to qualify. So basically, the loan is for 5 years. The first 2 years is interest free if you repay within 2 years. But if you after 2 years you still don't repay the loan, then there's 3% interest rates after the first 2 years. And then there's some COVID leave support or absence payments. So that's for business that if your employee has to self-isolate or sick with COVID, then you can have a look at this type of payments and see if you qualify. And then if your business struggle to pay your debts, then there's another business debt scheme help you to kind of protect yourself, protect your business, because the creditors cannot take legal action against you. So this is quite good to help you manage your cash flow. And the last one, it's not from the government. This is to do with the tax. So, you have to pay provisional tax and terminal tax. And a lot of times, this is a big amount, right? So basically, you pay tax in advance over 4 quarters. So if you struggle to pay tax on time because of COVID, then best talk to your accountant or IRD early on. Don't wait to the last minute because the penalty can be huge. Now, IRD normally quite accommodate these type of situations. So if you talk to them early, they try to help you as much as they can. Right. So that's for business owners, kind of some options for you to manage the cash flow. Now, for people struggle with repaying the home loan, especially people income affect quite a bit. Yeah, so bank, most of the bank has like mortgage holiday kind of option for you. That means you don't need to pay anything for a period of time. But at the end of the day, you have to pay all the payments, all the interest. So it's not free money, but it at least help you manage your cash flow if you struggle to pay. You can talk to the bank directly, or you can let us know, and we'll help you to apply that. And next one, I just want to give you a tips about your cash reserve. So I don't know if you still remember, but during the GFC time, so that's between 2008 and 2009, a lot of people kind of have their home loan default. That means they can't keep up with the mortgage payments. The interest rate was so high at the time, was like 9 to 10%, but the rents, they can increase by so much, which is not enough to cover the home loan payments. Now, if they don't have alternative source of cash, then basically they have to default, and their property has to be sold through mortgage sale. Now, if they have some, good structure in place or have that emergency, plan, that contingency plan, they more likely to hold their property until now. And I guess the value probably more than double by now. So this is a very important lesson to learn. With home loan, once you settle the loan, bank do not come back and to check you, your income, etc. As long as you keep paying the loan, you'll be fine. So the cash flow is super important to make sure that you still pay the bank on time. If not, tell the bank as early as possible. So what I was trying to say here is that if let's say you have some savings, you want to make a lump sum payments to your home loan, instead of just making a lump sum payments, what you can do is split your loan into 2 chunks. You can have a small loan which match your savings and convert that loan type from a kind of a standard home loan, a fixed term loan, to a revolving or offset loan, so that your savings will offset the loan amount. So you don't really have to pay interest on that portion. But when you need the money for emergency, etc., it's there, right? So it's important that you always have some cash reserve. And the remaining portion, you can roll over for another fixed term. So that's a really kind of smart way to help you reserve as much cash as possible, okay, to avoid cash flow crisis. All right. So hope that helpful to you if you have a lump sum payments plan. Now, in terms of new lending, if your income has been impacted, like you probably getting wages subsidy, or your business, you're a business owner, you want to borrow more money to do whatever, then probably have to wait when your income go back to normal, or your business go back, finish the level 4 lockdown, because now the bank will trying to find out. So what is the impact for you? They can't use your normal income. So if you want to borrow more money, you probably have to wait for that. And also, I mentioned earlier for business owners, if there's some options available for you to manage the cash flow, but it will have an impact on your home loan borrowing capacity for sure, because the bank can see that your business has been impacted. That's why you apply those assistance options. So just bear in mind, that has some negative impact on your future borrowing if you're going to borrow soon. Now, bank policy hasn't really have any major changes. Probably the only thing recently is the ASB has reduced the amount of rental income they recognize, similar to what ANZ did a couple months ago. So instead of taking 75% of the gross rent as your net income, they now reduce to 60%. So ANZ did a similar thing, but they only reduced to 65%. So that means the servicing is going to be tighter. But, that's what we expected. So I covered that in my previous video. Other bank would follow because, the government has decided that from 1st October, for any property purchase from the 27th March, then you can't really deduct the interest from the expense against your rental income. So effectively, you're going to pay more tax. So the bank adjustments, they just reflect the cash flow position. Right, so apart from that, there's no any major changes at the moment. But if you're looking to borrow in the near future and your current income are not affected, and you don't believe you're going to have any issue with the payments or your income, then probably it's a good idea to apply a loan as early as you can, because in the future, the bank may increase the tax rates, therefore your borrowing capacity would reduce accordingly, or they apply debt to income ratio, etc., which is very likely in the near future. So that means your borrowing capacity will be reduced. So while you can, do it early. Okay, and also bank will ask for more information now. I know you probably feel the pain, but bank need to comply some regulation. Now, recently there's an updated regulation. It's called triple CFA. So what it does is that the bank has to be more responsible when they lend the money to you. They want to know more about your expenses, how you spend your money. And if you have a revolving, for example, they want to know what is your plan, how are you going to spend that money? Do you really need that kind of extra money, etc. So it's more scrutiny. So just be prepared. Especially you haven't borrowed for a long time. It's just a lot of information they will be asked upfront, as well as the COVID impact at the moment. In terms of turnaround time, now it's actually two extremes. Some banks like Westpac, before the lockdown, their turnaround time around 7 to 8 working days. And now, because the branch staff, they can't open their branch, so then the bank actually pull the resource to help with the loan approval. So now it's much, much quicker. Recently, we had approval done within a couple of days, so it's super quick. But on the other hand, some banks taking longer because the staff now work from home and the system doesn't really, accommodate the changes very well. So everything slowed down. So it's too extreme. So if you have plan to borrow more, probably start early. Yeah, just so that you don't have to miss some opportunities. Okay, so there are a lot of information here and different type of information, but I just want to give you kind of a full picture on what's going on now, so you can well prepared in advance. So if anything that I talked about in this video, you want to discuss further and just see how that going to impact on yourself, what you need to do, more than happy to have a chat. So just give us a call. We're happy to help. Okay, thank you so much. I hope, you take care and be safe. Thank you. Bye for now.